This video has been sponsored by Fetch. So the other day, I was taking a scroll down memory lane, as one does, and looking through all of my old recipes and picking out some of the best of all time. Obviously, Tasty's fudgy brownies and their chocolate cake have got to be up there, as well as those crunch wraps, the chicken Franken Alfredo I made a while back. But unquestionably, unequivocally, another recipe that has to be in that conversation is Joshua Weissman's In-N-Out Double Cheeseburger. It's the best burger I've ever made, no doubt. It even trounced Nick DiGiovanni's burgers that used full-on ground Wagyu beef. So for a while, I've been convinced that nothing would ever top this or even come close to matching it, until I remembered a certain somebody else that's known for very extra recipes that may take your entire day. A while back, Alvin uploaded his version of the double cheeseburger, one that supposedly takes 6 hours, which is actually pretty tame compared to the 100 or even 150-hour recipes he often creates. But I figured this would be a perfect matchup, and also another good excuse to make Joshua's burger once again, so let's get right into this one. I'm not gonna lie, this one is a bit daunting. We've got many hours, if not multiple days, of cooking and shopping in front of us. So it is a great thing that throughout this entire process, I will have my pals over at Fetch right by my side. Fetch is a free and super easy to use app where you can earn free rewards on literally anything you buy. Just snap a photo of a physical or a digital receipt, and you can earn points on every single purchase. Which means that I felt at least a little bit better about all the ingredients I had to buy for this video, because with every single receipt, I just snapped a photo and knew I was earning points towards my next reward. You can redeem those points for hundreds of rewards, anything from Walmart to Amazon and Chipotle gift cards. Even charitable donations are a good option to redeem those Fetch points for. Even if your receipts are up to 2 weeks old, you can still snap them and start earning points. And maybe the best part is that you can earn points from anywhere, literally any Amazon purchase, any and all retail stores. Anytime you get a digital receipt in your email, those all count. You'll be racking up points in no time. So please do yourselves a favor and click the link in the top line of the description, or just scan the QR code on screen. Download the app and use my code Seymour to get 5,000 bonus points as soon as you snap your first receipt. And thank you so much to Fetch for supporting the channel. But okay, back to business. I figured, because we already know what we're gonna get here, and because I can't wait any longer to eat this thing, we're gonna start with Joshua Weissman's In-N-Out burger. I gathered together some whole milk and salt, ground beef and mayo, Worcestershire sauce and bread flour, some ketchup and dill pickles, butter, a little water, fresh chives and thyme, as well as some cheddar and Munster slices, instant yeast, fresh garlic, some sugar, onions, a couple of eggs, and some fresh iceberg lettuce. So this is the third time, officially, that I am making this burger on the channel. As I said, the last time I did it was putting it up against Nick DiGiovanni's burger. That was back in 2021, and it absolutely wiped the floor with that one. Even though his used such good ingredients, the burger sauce was good. It had a very similar griddled onion in the middle, and of course, those burger patties that were made of homemade ground Wagyu steak, which kind of tore me apart to do to that beautiful steak. But that just goes to show how delicious this burger must be, because every single component is just so on point. Starting, of course, with the buns, which are not as difficult as some of the other bread products or even bun products we've made from Joshua in the past. It comes together super easily in a stand mixer, and then it rises 2 separate times, first in its bulk form, and then once you've got it broken down into 6 uniform little blobs. And then they just get topped with an egg wash and baked in a 375-degree oven for about 16 minutes. I've said it in the past, but these things are to die for when they're fresh. I use them for chicken sandwiches, I use them for egg sandwiches for breakfast. Very much recommend you trying them out if you've got the time. But I will say, the most ironic thing about this video probably is that in addition to those buns, you've got to caramelize onions for your burger sauce, which take 30 to 40 minutes within themselves. You've got to griddle some onions as well, form your burger patties, baste those things. What I'm trying to say is that this is a lot of work, especially just for a burger. Comparatively, Alvin's 6-hour burgers don't seem too bad at all, because these things can take me a day or two sometimes. Granted, a huge chunk of my time when I'm making these videos is just me messing with my camera and making sure everything is in frame and in focus, so if I were making these off camera, they'd probably take me about half the time. But as per usual, my buns were looking absolutely incredible, especially when I got them toasted off in a bit. My sauce was looking just as perfect as ever. My griddled onion slices were looking just okay. They kind of charred a bit unevenly. They didn't really want to stay together, but I think I made it work. And of course, the smashed burgers were looking and smelling incredible. Every time I revisit this recipe, I wonder why I've never thought to baste burger patties just as you would a steak. It's just so smart. It adds richness, it adds flavor with whatever kind of herbs and garlic you throw in there. I make sure to get my cheese nice and melty, and yeah, it's time to assemble this beast. And yes, nothing has changed. I am still omitting that disgusting, warm, slimy piece of tomato. They will go nowhere near my burgers. Leave me alone in the comments, please. We should all be over this by now. But I'm officially drooling. It's been a while since I've been this happy to see a recipe return to the channel. It's just so big. This thing's an absolute mess, but in the best way possible, and it is still incredible. Still by far the best burger I have ever made and consumed. It is the best Joshua recipe I've ever tested, and it just kind of occurred to me, I think this is the perfect example of what Joshua is so strong at. At first glance, his food seems so ridiculously overcomplicated and difficult to make. Sometimes they are, but a lot of the times it's just very basic ingredients that he uses in such a way that it elevates it so much more. Yes, you still need a lot of patience, but majority of the time it's worth it. It's just a basic homemade hamburger bun, it's store-bought ground beef, but the basting of these buns with the garlic and thyme and of course that sauce, which is still the best thing on this burger. It's one of the best sauces in history. I could drink it by the liter. Look at these buns too. I'm always so proud of them. They always come out so good. Look at that crumb in there. They're super soft and airy. When they're fresh like this, they are better than any store-bought bun you will find out there. But damn, is this thing still amazing. I will be shocked if I ever find a burger that is better than this, which is why Alvin, you do make great stuff, but good luck. And now for our competitor today in the blue corner, we've got Alvin Zoo and his 6-hour double cheeseburger. I acquired some chuck steak and short ribs, ketchup and brioche burger buns, American cheese, kosher pickles, some salt and cayenne pepper, Dijon mustard, a yellow onion, mayo, salt and pepper, brown sugar, and some water. Once again, it's kind of ironic that the 6-hour, supposedly super long burger recipe has half of the ingredients as our last one. The only real labor-intensive part of this is sticking our steaks in the freezer, chopping them up, and then using our food processor to make some ground beef. This is a good alternative way to make some homemade ground beef if you don't have a grinder for your stand mixer. I will say, the last time I tried to do this a couple years ago, I completely burnt out my food processor. It was smoking so much, I thought I was gonna burn my house down. It's just a lot of strain on the motor, so if you've got a cheaper food processor, or if you don't have time to freeze your beef a little bit so it can cut through it easier, I would recommend maybe not doing this. But luckily today it came out all right, so I set it to the side while I whipped up my burger sauce. This is much closer to the Shake Shack sauce. It's primarily mayo and ketchup, a little Dijon, some pickling brine and cayenne. It's very simple, but it's very tasty and it elevates any burger or sandwich that you put this on 10 times. We also have to whip up some more caramelized onions. This time they're gonna stay intact and be their own layer on the burger. I really like the fact that Alvin uses the Alton Brown method of thinly slicing these lengthwise, almost massaging them with some salt, pepper, and brown sugar to make sure they get super sweet and complex and deliciously rich, especially with a little added butter at the beginning. And then all that's left to do is to toast off your store-bought buns, form and press your burger patties, and then assemble everything. By the way, I was debating if I even wanted to get into this at all, but Alvin, if you're watching, do we have beef? I know that there's a certain few food creators out there who aren't super fond of me in my videos, but I thought we were good. We used to talk on Instagram, you used to help me with your creations, but now all I'm good for is just leaving me unread, I guess. I did get a bit worried when I was trying to cook these patties off. They seemed to not want to stay together. They were super crumbly, but I used some parchment paper, just like he did in the video, and they stayed together well enough, at least. But yeah, it's as simple as that. The supposedly 6-hour, incredibly long burger is complete, and I'm just as excited to give this one a try, so let's do it. I was a little worried about those burger patties for a while there, but we have arrived. Oh boy. To no one's surprise, this is also really, really good. It's just so well composed. Like, there's a perfect amount of everything on there. It's very easy to eat. And shockingly, these burger patties are better. The American cheese is better. It's more melty and screams smash burger to me. I love that there's more caramelized onions on this than the last one. This actually kind of reminds me of something you'd see on the burger show over with Mr. George Moats. The main reason these patties are better is because the edges are so frizzled and craggy. It's like a beef candy almost. This is much, much closer than I thought it was gonna be, but I think I gotta give Josh the slight edge still. His buns are better, that sauce is to die for. Even though this sauce is really good too, and overall suits this sandwich so well, I'm much more likely to make this again because of how much simpler overall it is, but you can't really go wrong either way. I've had a great day at least.
With the M without the AD. Flipping burgers and my money super lazy. Try and make a meal tonight, they ain't paying me. Try and supersize my life with my 18. Yeah, our style wasn't wavy, but we had a vision.